Okay, when we're talking about conditioning, we've already talked about classical, so let's look at the instrumental conditioning. When learners' behaviors either increase or decrease as a result of the consequences those behaviors bring about, that is instrumental conditioning at its best. No questions asked. Consequences that increase the behaviors that follow are reinforcers, and then the act of following a particular response with a reinforcer, that is when you are reinforcing or reinforcement is given. That's reinforcement. Okay, then we look at the other side of that, consequences that we hope decrease the behavior that follow. That is what we would call a punishment. Both enforcers and punishments are environmental stimulus or stimuli that influence behavior. So B.F. Skinner probably comes into play here. He found consistent evidence that reinforcers increase the behaviors they follow, but little evidence for the influencing of punishment consequences. Maybe he wasn't doing that part right. Just kidding. Skinner used the term operant conditioning to refer to reinforcement-based learning. That's a term that essentially captures the increase in behavior, half of our instrumental conditioning definition, and many behaviors continue to use that term today. However, many other behaviors have found that punishment can, under certain conditions, be quite effective in reducing inappropriate behaviors. I found that it has worked in my family's life. If we look at some examples of instrumental conditioning, we used to have a dog. Lacey was her name, and I would give Lacey a scrap of food off my plate. Every time that Lacey begged at the dinner table. She had the big brown eyes and lay her head on my leg. Well, before long, Lacey was by my side begging every meal. Because why? Because she knew I was going to give it to her. Another one might be Jim, a student in your class, uses obscene words when he speaks in class. Now, Miss Jones scolds him for such language in front of his classmates, but much to the teacher's dismay, Jim's use of obscene words increases. Why is it? Why does it increase? Text me your answer. Sarah once went to visit the elderly woman next door, and Miss Lewis gave Sarah a couple of homemade cookies. Now Sarah goes to see the woman almost every day after school and comes home a half hour later, still licking crumbs off of her lips. Why does she do that? Text me your responses. What is happening to Lacey, to Jim, and to Sarah? Just text me one big response. Why are they all acting in that way? All right, I'm waiting to hear from you.